All right, so I have some notes because I need to say this in a way that I don't ramble and whatnot. All right. So this is something that I'm also, hopefully when I'm done with this, it'll be good enough for me to edit and get out to people because I totally screwed up. And I don't know if you know it. I'm sure maybe there might be some of you that are a little confused and you're just like, thinking maybe it was you or something. So I'd like to know, how you guys are feeling about this. If you notice something was screwed up or what. All right. So I'm going to do a little explaining. Okay. All right. So I had a coffee talk. Now, I know you guys that are listening to this know what a coffee talk is, but if I edit this and get it onto my other platforms, they aren't going to know what a coffee talk is. So I'm just going to say coffee talk is how I have insiders. I call them my Tidy Tutor insiders. And these are my people. I consider them, I guess I consider all my Tidy Tutor my people, but these are people that actually opted in to get help from me personally. So we connect on a regular basis. And one of the ways we connect is every other Tuesday, we are together on a live webinar that gets recorded and is available for them, for anybody that couldn't make it. So during that meeting, one of the members that were there said, I'll see you on Thursday. And I said, Thursday? We don't have anything on Thursday. And then she said, no, I think we do. And then after the meeting, I looked to see, like, do we have anything on Thursday? And I looked on Zoom, nothing was on Thursday. And then I looked on some of the announcements and things that I had. And the only thing I had on Thursday was something that I do without the Tidy Tutor hat on, whereas it's a meetup group and I call it Make the Time, Take the Time. I'm not going to get into that now, but I had that on Thursday. And I thought, well, some people know about that. So maybe that's what she was referring to. So I emailed her and I said, this is what happened. You probably are referring to the Make the Time, Take the Time meeting that we have this Thursday. I changed it from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. New York time. So that's probably what you were talking about. And what she did was she forwarded me a email that she received from Zoom, because when you update things on Zoom, it will send an announcement to the people that registered for something, letting them know that something was updated. Now, I do have the ability to say, don't let anybody know about this update, because some updates just don't make any sense. You don't have to know about. And so, but what happened was, obviously, I didn't click on that button that said, don't let anybody know I've updated this. And so I know that I went into Zoom and I have, canceled certain things. And so there must have been email sent out while I was messing in there. All right, so let me look at my notes and see if I can get a little bit more clear on this, okay? Okay, so we met every other day. No, we went, this is here. Let me just do a little background here, okay? So that I could kind of paint you a picture of how this happened and what happened. All right. We met every day for over 2 months when the pandemic hit, about 2 weeks past the date that the lockdown happened for us here in New Jersey. I don't know if it was that way for all over the world. I know that there were other people that had been on lockdown before that, and then others who weren't yet. But when my world changed drastically and all of a sudden we weren't allowed to see anyone, this was around Easter time, just before our Easter, where we were going to get together, we couldn't. So 2 weeks after that, I decided to do an every single day meeting for free with everybody that's connected to me. And we met every day to either just be together. If anybody wanted to get some work done at home, that was my main objective, or my main help, I guess I could say. If anybody wanted to get help at home to do some work. But then also a lot of it had to do with just, I knew there was a lot of people alone. I'm going to cry. A lot of people alone and afraid, so I offered that, and we did it every single day for over 2 months. Then we did it every day except for Sunday after that. And then when the lockdown was lightened, when it was for most people in the world, it was kind of, like release, like we were set free kind of thing. You could go out now and whatnot, in limits kind of thing. I did it where I said, okay, we're going to do it now, moving forward, every Tuesday and Thursday. And then I said, all right, for my insiders, let's do it every Wednesday and Friday. So I had every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. Then after a few minutes, it was more than a few minutes, but after a little bit, I realized, this is crazy, Kathy. you can't keep this up. This is nuts. I learned a lot, and I'm going to be able to share that with you. So that's one of the benefits to this. Okay. One of the things I love about what I do is I step in the holes first and then I show you them. So I've been doing what I do for 30 years now, over 30 years actually now. And so there's been a lot of stuff as I moved ahead with this system and with this plan and living life that I said, look at what happens here and look at what happens there. And a lot of times what happens is it's in real time now because I'm experiencing in the moment, which I really kind of love because things get watered down later on. So if you try to explain, say, a pain that you have, it's a lot more, what's the word? It's a lot more effective if you can explain that pain while you're in the pain than, 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road. So a lot of times things are in real time. This happens to be one of the real time things. All right. So let me just keep going with what happened. So when I realized that I bit off way more than I could chew, and I was moving more ahead on my emotions than on what I could do, what I could actually do, I said, all right, we're only going to do Tuesdays from now on. We're not doing the other ones. And I went in and I thought that I deleted the others. Okay. And now you have to put this on a little side note. I'm dyslexic. All right. So some of the things that I have to do is literally painful for me. And one of the things that is painful for me is scheduling. I see numbers backwards. I'm going to cry with this too. I see numbers backwards. I see dates wrong. I see something that I didn't do that I did. It's crazy. I had an assistant once, and she's part of my world here. She's part of Tutor. Lacey, if you're watching, you know who you're talking about. And I would give her something to do for me, and I'd say, here, can you please, do this? And I'd send it to her. And then I'd get a text message back, maybe like 30 minutes later, sometimes even less. And she'd say, and I would just get a text with one word, done. And I'd be like, done? It took me hours. That would normally take me hours. See, people with dyslexia, we don't know that everything isn't hard. We think everything's hard. So because it's just what we're used to. So we don't know, it doesn't have to be this way. So there's my point to that. All right. So I completely screwed up in many ways. One way was I extremely overextended myself and I did not practice what I preached. Now I asked myself, how did this happen? Because we have some rules. All right. We have some rules. We don't let emotions rule how we do and what we do. Yet that's exactly what I did. I broke my own rule, which is hurry up and slow down. The hurry up part is like, we tend to move kind of fast, kind of slow when it comes to like doing chores and doing things we have to do. We kind of meander. But then also sometimes we move too fast. Like maybe we're on a line for something and we'll be like, okay, here, give me my change. And all right, give me my receipt. And then we just like run out of the store. Like we move too quickly. Take your time sometimes. Get the receipt. Put it in your wallet, get the change. If it was your change or your card back, whatever, put it in your wallet. Make sure you have your keys. Make sure you have your phone. Make sure you have all your bags. It takes like 10 seconds. If you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, literally, it's probably about 5 seconds for you to just slow down a little bit at the checkout line and make sure all your ducks in a row before you move out. So that's one of the rules we have. Hurry up and slow down. Well, I broke that rule completely with this because I didn't slow down. I went with I shot from the hip. This is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. What can I do? What can I do? I completely broke my own rule with that. There's another rule. All right. Say no. Now, was I saying no to you? No, nobody was asking me to do anything. I was saying what we need to do sometimes is say no to us. If somebody comes to you and says, can you X, Y, and Z for me that next week? We do not say, sure, I can do that. I've learned this and I've done this for many years now. I say first, I need to check my calendar and then I'll let you know. But what did I do this time? This time I saw that there was a need. And instead of doing the slow down part of hurry up and slow down and taking that say no habit into heart, I just said yes to me. I was thinking, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to help. I want to do this. And I just said, yes, 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 yes. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Without first checking to see, will this work? Will this work? Can I get this in my calendar? Because sometimes, you don't have to have an actual appointment to say no to somebody. Sometimes it's just, It's my time to relax. I have a shutdown time. When you have an online business, especially when you help individuals and groups and people, it's real easy to overextend. So you have to have a shutdown time. And so I have a shutdown time. I completely threw out that shutdown time. There's family day, right? There's time for family time. There's all these little things that have to do with living life. And I disregarded them all as if they didn't matter. So there was that. What was another one? So I had hurry up and slow down, say no, and do what you gotta before you do what you wanna. Like, that's another really big one. I was not doing what I needed to do. I was just doing what I wanted to do. So I want you, first of all, to be sure to know that what I've done is I've looked and seen that I've committed to Tuesday and Thursdays. They're on the books, they're still there. Okay. So I'm holding to those. All right. I'm going to keep to that commitment that I made. So we have every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2 p.m. where we're going to meet and declutter together. Anybody in the whole world. Okay. Invite your friends. And this is until November 24th. Now, for any of you guys who are in the US, this is great because it'll lead you just before our Thanksgiving. For any of you that are not in the US, it's still great because it'll give you a great head start to prepare for the holidays at home. Okay. So we're going to meet for about an hour. Okay. Every Tuesday and Thursday. So try not to be late because when we did this during the pandemic, we sometimes were together for 3 or 4 hours. That's not going to happen this time. We'll meet for about an hour. All right. Probably an hour and a half is what it will go to. So don't think, all right, I'll get there at, an hour later and they'll still be there. All right. So that's one thing. Because if you were somebody that was part of it, you know that that's the way it rolled. Okay. And something that I'd like to mention about that, if you're in Europe, like say you're in England or in Ireland, you're 5 hours from New York. So that is if it's at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 p.m. So what might be really nice for you to do is say every Thursday is going to be like a girls' night for you. Because I know that might be like, it's a little tough, in the evening. But you have the right to take some time for you. And you can make this be a time that you have for you where you just kind of like chill out and because we are really pretty amazing people. Everybody that shows up for these things are pretty freaking amazing people. So if you have anything to do at home, you just want to relax or you just want to be around some really positive energy, not to say that we don't ever say anything that's what we're upset about or anything, but we do not linger there. And we also don't get into anything that's happening in the world. This is all about getting organized, being together. It's about home. That's all. We don't get into politics. We don't get into masks. We don't get into COVID. We don't get into any of that. Okay. So it's just a time for mainly women, although there are some men, for us to be together and just kind of support each other during this time. And I have the expertise of helping with home and whatnot. And so that's what we do. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew about that and that I could explain, what happened for anybody that seems to be confused, like what the hell is going on. So something that I'd like to just share about that is that, this thing that we do, where like we're right brain scattered by nature, always late, always a dollar short and a day late, always picking up, always cleaning, always on a treadmill of cleaning a mess and all of that stuff. It only works when you work it. So you could say, well, I'm so good at this, I don't have to do that anymore. That doesn't work anywhere in the world. I'm not immune to it, obviously, and nobody else is immune to anything that worked for them. You can't just stop doing it and think that, well, it doesn't matter anymore because I'm so good at this now. That's not the way it works. So this is something that, kind of took me off my game in a very big way. And, so here is just another, 2020 thing. There's going to be some times that, and I mean, let me tell you, I've had some times. I had a daughter-in-law that passed away. She was only 25 years old. I, there was a lot of emotion in that. Yet I stuck to my game. And the thing with that was, see, I've learned that when life throws you a curve, it is the most important time to stick to your game. And it makes everything run smoother. We're able to be there for the people we need to be there for in a better way. We're able to take care of things we need to take care of because we are taking care of ourselves and our home. See, but in this case, It was different. I'm not saying, oh boy, this was worse than Johanna's death. No freaking way. That's not what I mean. But somehow this was an experience that was outside of um, something that I feel like could have clicked in the brain as a crisis. Like, okay, here's a crisis. Let's deal with it. So what I've learned is there may be a time when some kind of crisis comes that is not able to click in. And so 100% of the time, we need to step back, slow down, and think things through always, no matter what. And even if there's a thought in your mind that says, but you need to do this, but you need to do this. And you know those thoughts because you think them now on a small level, like when it comes to not cleaning up after dinner, you'll get that thought, but you need to relax, but you need to do this first, like leave the dishes, they'll be there tomorrow because that's your habit that you've been in. And that's a small piece of it, but you know how big it feels at the time, right? So this is just another level of that, where we'll hear another voice or the same voice, I guess, that says, you can't do that now. You need to do this. You've got to throw away everything that you've learned because this is different. So I'm telling you what I've learned through this experience. No, there's never going to be anything that's different. It's all the same. There's a verse in the Bible that says there's nothing new under the sun. I think it's in Solomon. There's nothing new under the sun. Whatever has been will be. Whatever has been is. And so it's just another version of what leads us to chaos, and it's another version to see what can bring us back to peace. So I hope that was helpful. Um, I'd love to see a comment or two to know that you're with me here and that you understand what I'm saying and that we're all good. And then I'll sign out and I'll put in the chat if this is playing on YouTube, I'll put it in the YouTube description. If this is on my website, I'll put it on the page where you're viewing it. If this is on Facebook, I'll put it under the chat where you can be part of these meetings. So today is Thursday when I'm doing this particular thing, and it is the 5th, so it is of November 2020. So if you're like watching this next year or something, I'm always going to be doing something. So look at that link and see what's going on now. All right, because I'll change it after the time has passed, and we'll always stay connected in some way. Okay, so there's that. And then if you're watching it currently, then you're able to make it, the link will be there for you to be a part of what's going on. All right, and I'll end the meeting, and thank you so much. Okay, right.